me put my phone down so that's professional.
Why do you still have your computer up?
To be professional.
My computer's off screen.
I'm bound to be professional. Bitch, I'm professional. Jared sucks my dick and then I go to confessional.
That was a good rhyme. And that's why you would go to confession. If a man sucks your dick, you'd be like, bless me, Father,
everybody.
For I have sinned. A man sucked my dick.
It was pretty cool.
I liked it, but I'm not gay.
I'm not here to confess why that's a sin. I just wanted to tell you. Let you know it's okay to enjoy that. Stop fucking little kids behind their moms' back.
Behind their moms?
Behind their moms.
Yo, that would be fucking terrible. Be like, so
hey, little Billy's mom, is that picture frame crooked?
Yeah, that would be one hell of a repressed memory. Just imagine being in fucking therapy and be like,
my mom was there fixing a painting.
The one time a priest came to my house and my mom was standing there and then she turned around. Oh my God, he fucked me right behind her. And then she turned around and he just moved me.
We're going to go to Billy's room to discuss the things he's done wrong this week.
She thought I disappeared. She thought I was a magician. I was being fucked.
Welcome back to another episode of the Rum Runnas Podcast, where we talk about weird and interesting news that we find all over the internet. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Jared.
I almost said your name because that's how it's actually done. Did you hear the pause?
Yep. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I'm just going to say word for word what he says.
I'll just
up to and including his introduction.
It's one of those, the teacher said to change it a little and you almost didn't.
It was almost plagiarism.
Yep. Yeah, this was homework copying right there. All right, so we're back again.
I did it.
You did do it.
I did it.
How did everybody like last week's episode? That was crazy, wasn't it?
You died.
I mean, almost.
Oh, yeah.
Almost died. I mean, I've died before, but that wasn't that time.
Another story coming soon. The day Jared died.
The time Jared did die.
For 3.5 seconds.
It was a little bit longer than 3.5 seconds, but
5.5 seconds.
I don't remember. I'll have to ask my mom how long I was dead for.
6.8 seconds.
What's crazy is people are probably like, whoa, 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 whoa. Be like, I thought they were fucking around.
This
he
whole
was
time,
dead.
I never told anybody. I'm the little boy from The Sixth Sense.
Jared's not
Jared's
real.
A ghost.
What if? What if I actually did die? What if every
I'm a
video is you just
ghost.
reacting to absolutely nothing, but since you're watching it, it's in your head?
I'm just sitting there like, that's fucking crazy.
You actually rent this
What?
basement?
He did what?
Yeah, man.
How'd he get out?
What a twist. I mean, all of M. Night Shyamalan's movies are in Pennsylvania.
Dun, dun, dun. Sponsored by M. Night Shyamalan.
No, it's not.
M.
I
Night
mean, we
Shyamalan,
could
sponsor
probably
us.
ask him.
Mr. Shyamalan.
I should probably stop calling him Shamalama Ding Dong, which is what I always say.
Mr. Shyamalan.
Mr. Shyamalan.
I would like to congratulate you on making movies that are really good one time. And say, please, sponsor our podcast.
There we go.
I know you listen.
That would be kind of dope. But okay.
Imagine I actually just get a response. It's like, listen,
He's like,
they're good more than once. And then I'm just like, well, will you
He's like,
sponsor our
"Did you-
podcast?
did you see Signs twice? And you're like, yeah. And that's why I said they're good once.
Why Signs? Signs isn't that one.
I don't know.
That one's replayable of any of them. No
Yeah.
one's not. Sixth Sense.
It's not.
One and done.
Yeah. I mean, Split's not bad. And All the superhero ones aren't bad more than one time.
I've never seen Split.
Unbreakable,
Isn't Split and Unbreakable now
and Glass
in the same series?
Because Glass is what brought them all together. It's a big fight. It's in Allentown. Like, it doesn't take place in Allentown.
Unbreakable.
But the main the fight scene at the end was filmed in Allentown, not too far away from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one Bon Jovi video was filmed in Bethlehem, not too far away from here.
Very not too far away from here. That was actually really close. Like, that affected traffic on the way to and from
the casino, because that's where it was.
Yeah.
And also, Bruce Springsteen wrote a song called Allentown. And
Yes,
now
he did.
I have forced this into both shows this week.
I know. It's incredible the way that you've just been like, hey, I'm gonna talk about two famous people from New Jersey
And make them talk about Pennsylvania.
and make them talk about Pennsylvania and make us talk about it twice.
And now everybody knows where you live.
They know a radius.
I live hours from here.
He doesn't.
I shut the fuck up.
I will tell you that he lives exactly 11 minutes and 43
I
seconds.
make a 3-day trek every week to be here.
After we finish recording, he walks back over mountains. Half of it's on a donkey. And then by the time he gets home, he changes his clothes and then comes right back.
I live somewhere halfway down the Appalachian Trail.
Somewhere between here and Virginia. That's what he does.
Does it go higher than here, or is this the start?
I think,
Does it start in New York? How far is Appalachia?
I don't know, because
Appalachias.
they talk about,
Tell us how far you are.
every time like a New Yorker is talking about like going into like nature, they always come to Pennsylvania and they go to the Poconos.
But the Appalachian Trail doesn't start in Poconos. It starts
But
in like Wind Gap.
I feel like if they like had some of it on their end, they would just go there. They wouldn't come down here and hang out in the Poconos.
You're talking about city New Yorkers, though, not like New Yorkers from New York,
I don't know.
the state.
But why would city New Yorkers go to Pennsylvania when they can just go to mountains in their own state?
Because there was a massive marketing campaign where the people of the Poconos were like, hey, if you're from New York, why don't you move to Pennsylvania?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I guess that helps. Why didn't they do their own marketing campaign?
Who?
Are there mountains in New York?
New York.
Do you have mountains? Like real mountains?
Or are you just islands?
Are you talking about the city now again?
Isn't that the whole thing?
On to the first one.
1974. 4 little boys.
Are you
walked
talking about
into the
Centralia
woods.
again?
No, that I would start with 1773.
1776.
I love the part where Ryan was like, pounds. And I'm like, well, this was before America. I went so far back in history.
Yeah, that was a lot. First story. They ruined everything. Houston funeral home puts wrong body in casket, family says.
I think playing hide and seek at a funeral would bring about a little bit of joy in a tragic time.
I mean, if that was the intended purpose, like if there, would you think it was like a scavenger hunt or just hide and seek?
Yeah, I feel like there's probably like clues on the like wrong body, even though we have not gone into this. This is now what I'm creating.
Okay, so before
in this
reading
time of
any
COVID,
it,
with the height of like we have way more deaths happening and
Yeah.
funeral homes are getting backed up.
Mhm.
Not even going to get to the story before I decide that I feel bad for the funeral home. Mistakes happen at your job.
Okay,
They're just in a high profile position where it's
Very
really
high
not
profile.
good to make a mistake.
yeah.
And B, I think we should invent a game of find the dead relative.
Okay, so you're saying that it was kind of like an escape room with a scavenger hunt mixed. but
That
it was
ends with a
su-
funeral.
But it was a surprise, yeah, and it ends with a funeral. That's
So
the,
not everybody gets
that's
out
the
alive.
That's the prize at the end is that you get to see your dead relative. So okay,
All
so
right, but
let
if
me
you
just
get out in time, if you find it in time,
okay,
then it's free.
no funeral home would do that. They charge for freaking everything.
Right. But it'd be really hard.
Yeah, especially since you wouldn't be expecting it. So you would show up and you'd be like, "This isn't Uncle Gary," and then you'd look and be like, "This is a young Mexican boy."
You're
Well,
saying
that-
that because there's a Mexican flag there?
That's the only reason why I said that. So you'd look up and you'd be like, "That's not his body." Then you'd look up again and be like,
A clue.
"There's a clue here. The lining of the coffin is off a little bit." So you'd have to pull that away, and then there'd be a map, and it would just lead you to the next clue, and that would be in the tissue box located near the door for all of the mourners. Because, of course, once again, funeral. Yeah. Plus, also, some people would probably be really crying about this, and only a few people would be joining in on the actual scavenger hunt.
There'd have to be some kind of like word problem inside of the guest sign-in book.
Yeah.
Or that little pamphlet they give you that like tells you about the person that died. Be like it's your loved one that you already know about.
Exactly. There would be like a haiku on the back that they're like, I didn't ask for a haiku on the back, but in that is a coded message.
And let you know that there's another clue under the second stall in the toilet seats.
Yes.
Or the
I'm kind of down for this. Stall. It makes it a very active experience. And at the end of it, you would always be like, man,
remember when Uncle Gary died?
And we came together as a family, had to solve clues. Aunt Roxanne, she was really good at puzzles, so she figured out the first one. And our cousin Timmy was really good at math problems. And we ran into that math problem. Everybody was stumped. Cousin Timmy came over, solved it in 15 seconds.
Man, it would have been really great if we solved it in the 17 minutes they gave us, because that $20,000 funeral is really expensive.
Especially since they added the cost of the scavenger hunt that we didn't ask for. Okay, let's actually read the article and see if we're right.
I'm going to create this now.
Somebody
It'll be known ahead of time.
Sponsor us, and then you'll sponsor the first ever scavenger hunt funeral home. Rum Runnas scavenger. I mean, we are pirate themed with everything, so it does kind of work. All right, let's go here. So, Houston. Doctors diagnosed Natividad Torres Cordova with pancreatic cancer. Oh, this is already starting off not funny. In May.
You can't say that and then make us laugh.
Serious. Okay, so
okay, be serious time.
The father, grandfather, and great-grandfather spent his final 2 weeks at home. To say our last goodbyes to our father, it was supposed to be perfect, said Susana Montalongo, daughter of Cordova. He gave us
daughter of Cordova sounds like her name sounds like she's like the Duchess of some faraway land.
I am Susana, the daughter of Cordova. Like, that sounds official.
Yeah.
That's why this is in the papers, because they pissed off the daughter of Cordova. And now they have to hear it because of diplomatic immunity. So, he gave us his all, so we wanted to give him everything perfect. The day of the funeral arrived at Santana Funeral Directors, and the family said the casket was late. Not a good start. That wasn't too big of a deal until Maria Vasquez opened it. I went up to the casket to tell him I love you, but before anybody came in, and I was touching the wrong person with my dad's clothes. Ooh, ouch. So they put his clothes on the wrong person. It's not even just like they were like, oh, shit. Both of these caskets were right next to each other. Could have been.
You know what it is? They sold the body for science.
Could have. I mean, because
they didn't expect anyone to open it. They're like, this was supposed to be a closed casket.
Yeah. I mean,
why are you opening
wasn't that
this?
A thing for a while? That was happening a decent amount?
Somewhere there was someone doing something like that. Yeah.
Where they were selling the bodies and stuff. Let's see here.
Empty caskets.
She said in tears, they ruined everything. Photos taken at the funeral show a man who is not Cordova wearing his special Mexico soccer jersey. Oh, shit.
Why would
it was
you
like a sentimental thing.
At a funeral?
Well, probably because they were like,
or was it for
that's
evidence?
not the guy. And they took pictures.
That's not my dad, my dad. Well, also, I mean, are they sure? Because I know funerals, every time I've ever been to one, I'm like, that doesn't look like the person I lost.
I mean, there's only so much they change.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, if they're like, my father was 6'4" and this man was 5'2". It's a little wee man.
Shriveled.
Yeah. No, they don't shrivel when they die. Well, I mean, right away.
No one knows
preserved.
what happens after death.
I mean, people know what happens to the dead after death.
No one knows.
No one knows what happens to your brain soul thing.
No one knows what happens when you die.
No one knows about the soul train.
What are you doing? You're just like, highlight.
I don't know.
I don't know where I was.
It's because I literally was just like, what was the last thing I said?
That's not my father.
Videos taken at the funeral home show family members confronting Santana employees. It almost felt like a really mean joke. Natividad Cordova Jr. I was going to say, I'm like, wasn't that the guy?
Natividad.
I didn't even like to talk about it. Cordova Jr. went with Santana employees to find his father's body. This was like a scavenger hunt at that point.
Is this your father? No.
Holy
Is this
shit.
your father? No.
Close to 2 hours later, the body of Natividad Torres Cordova arrived, but the family said his body was not prepared for a service. Instead of having good memories of a perfect funeral for their father, because he deserved the best, we are having a nightmare, Montalongo said.
Whoa. I've never had good memories of a funeral.
Never.
I've never been like, can't wait. This is going to be great.
Yeah, I think the scavenger hunt idea is the closest thing to it, to having like a good memory.
Well, I just think it'll bring back some joy.
Yeah, I mean, you're bringing it's
at
people
the very
tell
least.
Jokes all the time.
Mine is going to have a scavenger hunt now.
I will make sure to remember that. I don't
You're
know why
die
I'm
before me.
I probably am. I'm very unhealthy. Unhealthy and sad all the time is not a good mix.
Your sadness is going to be what kills you.
Yeah. Let's see here. KPRC2 reached out to the funeral director, Arnold Alanis, who declined to be interviewed, but he said, "We have always believed in serving our families."
No, you don't.
Okay. Once in a while, there might be an issue with a family, but we are not at liberty to discuss that, Alanis said. I feel sorry for them. They're in grief now with the loss of a loved one.
This has happened before.
What? Okay.
They lost the body before.
Oh, yeah,
He
probably.
just said once in a while we have a problem.
Yeah,
and he's
once in a
acting
while.
like this isn't a big deal. Like, it's like, oh, we put the wrong shirt on. Or,
Yeah.
oh, we brought the wrong flowers. Like,
Yeah.
that's like the kind of problem that you're like,
Yeah.
you're ruining this, but at
I'll
least
deal
my
with it.
dad's here.
Yeah.
They lost the person.
The person. The
And-
person that shouldn't be losable.
They didn't prepare him, and they put his clothes on. It's like they were like, shit, we don't have time to get our homework done tonight, so let me just copy yours real quick.
I think what they really did was they were
But like then they don't, like they just photocopy it, but like they leave the other person's name on it, and then they're like, here you go, and the teacher's like, that's not your homework. And you're like,
I feel like it's more
oh,
like,
let me go find mine. Come with me, and then while you're searching, you do your homework.
yeah. I feel it's more like they were like, okay, we have history homework, but I only did my English homework. Let me just write history at the top, and I'm going to hand that in. And then the teacher was like, this is, are you
This is a really
stupid?
good paper
Be
on the fall of Rome, but I
exactly.
was
Be like,
looking
this-
for like a breakdown on the
On-
works of Henry Schillinger.
Sure, I think you switched that, but yeah. So they're
What
like,
did I
this
say
is-
first?
You said the fall of Rome, which is what it should have been about, and then you went with English. I said history, but yeah, it is what it is. But then the rest of your story continues, where you go and you're like, "Oh, hey, help me find it. Come to my locker with me." But you walk in front of me to my locker, and
you
then
just-
behind her back, you're just writing and just doing all that
And then
stuff.
you hand it in. She's like, "This seems very unfinished."
Exactly.
And you're
Yeah.
like, "What?"
That's what this is about. That's what this is like. This is
Yeah.
exactly what this is like. But yeah, we strive real hard to make our families, make sure the family's needs are met. I don't think
Liar.
you did. Vasquez said Alanis refunded the family later, but she said she had hoped that he and other employees would have shown some remorse on the day of the funeral. The director literally
Wait.
rushed out, left us there to handle everything on our own. The family plans were to file a lawsuit against the funeral home in the future once they find an attorney.
I don't think you can do that if they gave them money back, though, is the problem.
Yeah.
But he was like,
Pain and suffering.
Oh, I messed up.
You can do pain and suffering.
Bye.
Yeah, he pieced out right away.
And then, like, a month later, he was like, I feel bad for what I did.
Here's your money back.
I'll give you 30% off your next one.
I
And
can-
they were like, no. And he's like, all right. I'll give you 50% off your next one. And they're like, no. And they're like, store credit. All right. You can have up to $10,000 of anything in the store.
and a free upgrade on the flower arrangements.
And we'll carve the tombstone for free.
We'll give you an extra 10 letters on the tombstone for free, because that's what it is. It's by the letter, just so you know. I don't know if you know that. It's by characters. Actually, it's not even letter. It's by characters. So if you have spaces or hyphens or like a lot of numbers in your name, because some people have
My
numbers in their name.
funeral, my gravestone is going to have all one word, but it's also going to be like emojis.
You're gonna make people carve in emojis.
You said characters, doesn't have to be letters. I'm gonna be like 1,
That's
2,
true.
3, smiley face,
You should literally make
tilted
it like
head
a
laugh.
like a Bitmoji or like one of those like me-mojis on your phone where like you made it look like yourself and you're like, I want it to look exactly like this. And someone's like, I gotta carve a beard and glasses onto this thing.
And then I want the giraffe, but like with the bad word explicit thingy across the mouth.
And with the explodey head.
Yeah,
Where
but
your
the shark
lines were-
explodey head one.
Yeah. There we go. I'll remember all of this if I live longer than you. If not, Amanda, it's documented. This is what he wants.
It's on the internet. You
All right,
can't
well,
miss it.
That's pretty much the end of it. I think our scavenger hunt idea is better than what actually happened.
Yeah, I think it would be fantastic because I think at least if the family is aware
Yeah.
that they're
You tell
going to
them
do a
ahead of
scavenger hunt, they'll be like, you know what? The kids need something to do, so
At least the ones who book the funeral.
maybe not free though, since they're going
rest-
to know about it. Like we'll have to do something a little bit crazier unless we make it really hard.
I mean, yeah, you can do it that way, or you can make it that there's like time frames depending on the speed that you do it. If you do it really fast, you get a bigger percentage
In
off
10 minutes,
the
you
bill
get
at
it
the
free.
end. Yeah, but
15 minutes, you get 30% off.
Yeah,
And half an hour, it's you pay the whole thing. Plus,
Nah,
you
I
give
think,
us
like,
an extra $25.
I think half an hour you get like 10% off. If it hits an hour, because that's usually how long the funerals are, then it's just full price. If we have to like answer
if we
it
have
for
to
you,
bring you the body,
yeah,
full price.
yeah, exactly. That's when it's full price. But it never goes over an hour, and you never leave with not your loved one.
Yeah, you leave.
We know exactly where they
They're
are.
always prepared.
They're prepared. They're wearing their clothes. If you want to give up at 2 minutes in, we'll take you right there. You're already negotiated the price. We already know how much you're going to pay, so it's fine. We'll just get it over and done with. Everybody's not going to have as much fun, but I mean,
You're still gonna have to walk through the maze that we made to find the
Yeah.
body because
we're gonna be like, this is
At
where you
the
would have
end of it-
gone, and then this is where you would have gone, and then if you move this book right here, say secret door. We gave you the premium package here, secret doors and all. Okay, let's walk through here. See, and here's your grandfather.
and he's laying on like a mad scientist table. You're like, this is the one you signed up for. So we're gonna do a whole Frankenstein
Yeah,
bit.
it
but
was. Yeah, so let's
this
get
is
him out of here.
fantastic. Trademark this. Nobody is
Yeah,
allowed
no
to do
one.
this.
Yeah, don't steal this.
This is gonna
Don't.
be great. This
Yeah.
is almost as good as the other idea I had that me and my sister are gonna do.
Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna go into that one.
I'm not. That
But-
one's doable. This one. is a
This
little-
one's doable.
This is fantastic, but it's a little far fetched. That one's a little bit more realistic.
We're gonna need some seed money first, but it's doable.
Listen, Elon Musk,
Sponsor us?
sponsor me to make this, and I'll let Jared come along.
Okay.
Well, all we need
We have
is
a company
funeral home.
together.
All we need is a funeral home, a funeral director, a mortician, all of the things to do it,
And someone to design
and somewhat
scavenger hunts.
Elon Musk designed the scavenger hunt.
We also need a hearse.
Yeah, we're gonna need one of those, like
Yeah.
a thing that we could just use a truck,
We'll figure it out. We'll get a van. I don't know. On to the next one.
get a limousine that fits a dead body in the back.
This one's kind of similar because
What? You just found a whole bunch of stories of lost bodies?
no, because I mean, dead bodies are inside of coffins.
Dead bodies,
And when you put them on the ground, they're like locked in there.
coffins, locked in.
Next one.
Unless it's Poltergeist the movie, and then they're in your pool and they're not in coffins.
Next one. Teen gets locked in showroom safe at Orlando gun range. Girl uninjured at Shooter's World. Hydraulic extrication tools used to access safe.
Why did they need to? Why didn't they just use the like combination?
Maybe on her way in, she changed it.
She was just inside trying to figure out how to get out. She didn't realize that like the little thing she was pushing was changing it.
And they were like, just push the button, and she just ripped a wire out. And they were like, yo,
There's no fail safe for if you accidentally lock yourself inside your safe.
I feel like I don't think they think most people are going to try to get in.
I feel like all gun safes that are large enough to fit a person should be made
Should
to have
double
it-
as like a safe room.
Yeah,
I mean, aren't the
Then you're
guns
in there
supposed to be the safe?
with your guns, and you're like, all right, if they crack that code,
I'm just
I'm
firing.
shooting my way out.
They just open it and you're just.
And then little Timmy, your son, comes and he's like, Dad, nobody broke into the house. I just came home late. And it's like, blah, 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 blah.
That's bad.
And then there's a whole bunch of like things about needing new gun laws and people with mental illness shouldn't have them.
But I mean, it would keep business at our funeral home going. So it's all connected.
Yeah, that would definitely be the kind of person that would use it.
Yep. All right. So Orlando, Florida. Hey, this is a Florida man.
At least she didn't die because, I mean, I feel like those things are pretty airtight.
They're very airtight. And they're also like they're made to be in like floods and fires and like all that other shit and be fine. So they're not made with, I mean.
They're not made to breathe.
Yeah. Because
guns don't need air.
They don't need air. But wouldn't it being completely air, some of them are like temperature controlled?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean there's
so maybe
air
they
in
have
there.
some sort of ventilation. I don't know. I don't even know how good the safe was. But a teenager was accidentally locked inside a showroom safe at a gun range on Tuesday, according to Orlando Fire Department. Investigators said she walked inside the display and the door closed behind her. That's ghosts.
I saw this horror movie.
Yeah. So crews responded to Shooter's World and said Tower 10 firefighters had to use hydraulic extrication tools to breach the door.
Why did it have to be a kid? If this was like a grown-ass person, this story would have ended in a weirder way where nobody would have found them until it was purchased and brought home.
A dead person?
Let's say an alive person. Let's say that it gets bought that day.
Okay, I mean, that's you're
I
asking
was assuming
for a lot.
dead person.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I was for sure.
Yeah.
But even still, just imagine how much more and crazy that would be.
You're
You're like, I bought this gun safe and I got a person. And then they'd be like, oh shit, Wayfair is real.
I was just about to say, I'm like, it's Wayfair all over again.
Like, this is a shitty way to transfer people. He didn't make it.
Totally didn't make it. And there's also piss and shit all over my gun safe. I want a new one.
I thought this was pretty expensive. I didn't realize it's because it came with a person.
Yeah. We tried the manufacturer's suggestions, and unfortunately, the fail-safe system failed on it.
The safe's fail-safe failed?
I'm going to read that again. We tried the manufacturer's suggestions, and unfortunately, the fail-safe system failed on it.
Dude, it's fail-safe.
Exactly.
The fail-safe safe failed?
So, in the event of a failure, what is supposed to not fail, failed.
It's a fail-safe.
So that, was she just like freaking, or he or she, I don't know, did they say it was a girl?
Yes.
They just said a teenager.
Is-
she. They said she. Okay, yeah. So what
Way
did she
to
just walk
assume
in?
gender,
and
whatever
just-
news person this is.
Right? Yeah. Did you ask?
Who is this?
Did you ask them?
Daily Mayor.
Yeah. Wait, no, it's Click Orlando. That's who this is.
Click Orlando.
Yeah, but like, did she freak out? Just start throwing bows and kicks and like just ended up kicking the failsafe?
The whole point of a safe is that they protect things
Yes.
in a way that you can't just kick your way through. If your
I'm
safe
not saying she
breaks from
kicked her way
kicking it,
through.
then it's not made very well.
Safes are made to keep things out. They're not made to keep things in. So they probably only have
Actually, safes are meant to keep things in.
Okay. Sorry. They're not made to keep things from escaping of their own volition. How's that?
You think they use softer metals on the inside of the safe?
I feel like just because it's just covering the electronics and stuff.
This is why I don't agree with electronic safes.
Like,
Because there's so many
Yeah.
things that can go wrong. You're just like sitting there and you're like, oh no, the biometric reader on my safe broke. Well,
good thing it has
I
that
need a
fail
new
safe
gun.
that should never fail.
You're just like, nah, I need a new gun.
Yeah. Or to have, what were they called? Hydraulic extrication tools used to Is that like a water laser?
Yeah.
Like the high pressure ones that just
Yeah.
or
Laser water.
no,
You know
sorry.
what it was? They just brought a fire hose in and they just fucking pounded that shit until it opened. They're just like full bore.
No, now I'm gonna have to edit that. That sucks. I don't like that
You
noise
gonna
at
keep
all.
that?
That was a way too loud of a noise. Don't do it again. Gee, that distorted my voice because of what the noise that
Let's
you
try
did.
this real quick. You talk while I do it.
Okay, so you hear that distortion? That sounds terrible.
Amazing. All right, now you
Stop
do it.
that.
Now you do it.
No.
And I want to talk.
No.
I want to hear it.
No.
Do it.
No.
Come on.
Stop this.
Please.
No.
I just want to be able to talk while it's happening.
No. For
All right,
one
do it.
thing.
Just let me do it real quick.
No.
All right, now just go.
No.
No. Why are you going to do it now? Go.
No.
All right.
I'm saying no.
All right. All right, go.
Stop it. You're like razor's edge of just like ADHD. I'm going to have to check you into somewhere. You're like right at that line right now.
Just
For one thing,
do it.
we're dumb. You're dumb for this. And I'm dumb because I read hydraulic. And I thought hydro. It has nothing to do with hydraulics. It has everything to do with something, or it has nothing to do with hydro and water. It has everything to do with a hydraulic system. It was some sort of jaws of life.
What's great is you're going to cut out all the crap where I'm making noise.
No, I'm going to keep
You're
it.
going to leave that?
I'm going to keep it all because I'm going to make.
I just thought it would be funny.
Everyone
There's just a
suffer
cut.
with me.
There's just a cut, and then all of a sudden it's you're dumb for that, and I'm dumb for it. And they're just like, what did he say?
No, I'm probably going to end up keeping all of it.
No, cut it because I want it to sound like you're just a jerk.
And what keep this part
It
of
just
us
ends
arguing?
with, oh yeah, it's made with hydraulic things, like hydraulic lasers. I'm like, yeah, yeah, and then you're just like, you're dumb.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll compare.
Either that, or you're gonna have to find out a way to make sound listenable to.
I just got to drop you down like a couple thousand decibels. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Okay. Is there more to this? I don't remember where I was. Stop making noises. Jesus Christ.
Has nothing to do with this.
I'm going to start asking him to shut you up soon. I'm going to call that man on mushrooms and I'm going to make him shut you up. I'm not going to ask him how he's going to do it. Let's see here. We were used to force. Oh, damn it. We were forced to stop touching things.
I'm not touching anything.
You're a child.
I'm
I
nowhere
swear to
near
God.
anything.
You're a child. We
You're
were
a
forced to
child.
use special teams units. What? What the hell is
SVU,
special teams units?
Special Victims Unit.
Special teams is the people that kick field goals on football teams. What are they coming
They
in
know
for?
they need to get their Special Teens Unit,
Which forced.
which is made up of teenagers.
What is this sentence? Okay, this is from Fire District Chief J.J. White. This is Florida right here. We were forced to use special teams units which used their special hydraulic tools to reach the wall door of the safe.
It's like he's talking in shorthand.
Do you think that was the person writing the article?
Whoever
messed
took
up?
the notes, wrote it in shorthand, was like, I'll remember it later, and then was like, no.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if this was the publication or if this was Fire District Chief J.J. White. I don't know who to blame for that dumbass sentence because that was terrible
One,
in every way.
you're rude. You're rude. Maybe what they did
I'm
is
rude.
you're being really rude right now. You're being really rude and disrespectful because
Drop a like if you think Kyle's rude for everything that just happened up to this point.
what's his name? Chief J.J. White.
J.J. White.
All right.
Not Whites.
You're being
Not an
you're-
S.
You're
White.
being rude. You're being rude.
Okay.
Chief J.J. White suffers from Down syndrome, and he was made the honorary chief of
Nope,
the
I'm gonna look this up real quick because if you're right, I'll be fine with it. But if you're not, what was this?
He's a special
was his
needs
title?
person, and he's doing the best that he can.
Orlando. Let's copy this real quick. I'm gonna solve this right now.
You're being rude. He's a special needs person.
This is a right now thing.
You're just gonna find. Look at him.
That's not him.
Look at that bus.
It's just pictures of fire.
I'm-
What is
I'm-
that?
I'm right.
What?
and You're wrong. That's
Well-
him right there.
That is not.
It's actually no. I'm sorry. He's 6.
He's a 6-year-old.
He's not special needs. He's 6 years old.
Um,
He was voted in by the town council.
who is this?
Maybe he's a dog. Remember that
That's
town that has a
true.
dog as a mayor?
They have a cat as a mayor.
Whatever.
Who is this?
Not him. That guy looks like
That's
a criminal.
John Jankowski, apparently, and this is Troy Campbell, and this is a school bus. and this is a fire, and this is the article that we're talking about.
So since you can't disprove what I'm saying is
okay.
true. He's either a dog, a special needs person, or 6 years old. And so you're shitting on him.
And I can't disprove any of these because the internet won't help me.
You're shitting on him because his grammar's not exactly perfect. But you know what? He's doing the best he can.
Okay. The fire department said the teenager was not injured in the incident. Since the teen was inside, White said that crews had to be cautious to ensure her safety and were able to communicate with her the entire time. That time, he was very well spoken, so I'm thinking that it's just the person who wrote this messed up his quote.
They should have used C4. I bet it would have worked.
That was how they did it in that one movie with Edward Norton and Robert De Niro. They filled the safe with water, and then they put a small piece of explosives down there, and they blew it up, and the safe door came right off.
Was there someone in it?
I mean, no.
How'd they get the water inside?
They drilled like a hole in the top.
Why didn't they just drill the whole top off?
Because it would have taken too long. It was like a tiny... I think they used a water laser.
What's the point of the water?
So that because it was like a, I don't remember, but they could have just I guess they could have just blew it up, but then it would have destroyed what was inside.
I feel like it still would.
No, because there's just shockwave at that point. And it transferred the concussive force. The concussive force busted open the door. It's in the movie. I think it's
if you're
called
an
the
explosive expert or like a physicist, can you explain
how that would work?
If water in a small area would protect things from being directly next to an explosion?
It's called The Score. That's the name of the... I have it over here. We can watch it later. But it's The Score. It has Edward Norton, Robert De Niro, they're bank robbers or something like that, jewelry thieves. I don't know what they were. I haven't seen the movie in forever. But
is
I
Fire
remember
Chief White
that.
in it?
No, he wasn't, because he would have gotten the thing out without having to use all of that. He would have just used hydraulic...
He would have just used a special team.
His special teams unit that would force used special hydraulic tools to reach the wall safe.
Using hydroponics.
Yes, and then they would be good, and the girl would live. Let's see here.
She did live.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if JJ was there and there was a girl also in it, then she would be fine also. They wouldn't have had to blow it up. Let's see here.
Your theory with this movie is like, if you have a grenade and it's live,
not a theory with the movie. It was in the movie. I'm not making it up. I didn't make the movie.
If you're holding a live grenade and you accidentally pull the pin, you could literally just jump into a pool, let go of the grenade, and be fine as long as you're in water.
I never said that.
And then it would just blow one of the doors off.
I said that in whatever case they're in, whatever they were stealing wouldn't have been destroyed by the shockwaves with water, but would be destroyed by the shockwaves without water. And I'm assuming the fire. Maybe it was some, I don't know. I
so
don't
explosive experts and physicists, please let us know if this is realistic.
Or just people who have seen the movie.
That doesn't let me know if it's realistic.
Me?
You're just telling me that that's what happened in the movie.
I don't know the reason why they did it in the movie.
So what happened after the girl got out of the safe?
We were able to tell the miner what we were doing from the outside so that they wouldn't be too concerned or scared, and had them back away as far as possible from our entry point.
Wait a minute. How deep is this safe that they have miners inside of it? Bringing it full circle.
It was a normal size safe.
Did she have a helmet?
She got locked inside of a safe.
Is there a canary?
She had a helmet.
And a canary? She got canaries to let her know if the carbon monoxide is getting too intense?
Yeah, it was the Tweety bird on her jumper. I don't know, man. I don't know what kids do nowadays. I'm going on to the next one because you're making my brain hurt more.
Where's her pickaxe?
Oh my God. She could have
What
broke
was she
herself
looking
out.
for? Iron ore?
Did you just ask a question and then answer the question in the same breath?
No.
And then just look at me like...
What was she looking for?
Why?
Comma, iron ore? Question mark?
On to the next one.
Or was she searching for gunpowder?
Nope, I'm done.
Does gunpowder grow in the ground?
No. It needs to be made under special thing.
Yeah, but what's in it?
Saltpeter.
which is something that you can naturally mine for.
I think it has to do with something about like dead, like decomposing bodies or something. Because they used to make it.
Hey, remember when they used to give saltpeter and they would use it as a preservative for soldiers? And then their peters didn't work anymore because saltpeter kills your dick?
I'm going on to the next one.
Do you remember that?
No, because
You didn't know that?
was not alive when we must have been doing that.
But it's in history books.
I didn't do that history report. I handed it in English paper. On to the next one. You're going to like this one, I think. Because it's
fun with the first
weird.
two so far.
It's a weird story, and it's kind of awkward that a person did this.
So far, we found out that miners can lock themselves inside of safes and their canaries will be fine. And also that we're going to create a funeral home / scavenger hunt / escape room.
Yes. Okay. Nurse set off fire alarm to see colleague's breasts bounce as she ran down the corridor.
She wanted to see them bounce?
No, I'm pretty sure this guy.
Nah, that guy looks way too cool. He doesn't look like he's staring at bouncing boobs right now. He doesn't look like that's his full attention.
And this was 30 May 2018.
Yeah.
What?
Yo.
This is supposed to be brand new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me that guy doesn't look like Dave Chappelle.
He doesn't look like Dave Chappelle. That was
Thanks for telling me that.
That was kind of racist.
Well, I'm also looking at it through your microphone stand.
True. Okay. So I'm assuming
That's
this
the
whole article.
Paragraph.
There's an ellipsis at the end of. Oh, I hate.
Did you have to pay for it to see the rest?
Yes. They made it. Okay.
So there's probably not anything more.
This is an issue I have with the interwebs. There's multiple sites now that I use that are telling me that I need to become a member and pay so that I can read articles. And this one, apparently I have to become a member to be able to read the rest of a story because it's only giving me a paragraph. Oh my God. I'm gonna see if I can. This is ridiculous. I'm going to read what I have here. A senior nurse who set off an emergency alarm on the ward so he could watch a colleague's breast bounce as she ran down the corridor faces being struck off. Cool. Let me read it.
A nurse who set off an alarm so he could watch his colleague's breasts bounce. This one actually states that it's a dude. Because that other one made it sound like maybe it was a lady nurse doing it so she could see lady nurse's boobs bounce.
There you go. Okay, let's see it. Read it. You read this one to me.
A nurse who set off an alarm so he could watch a colleague's breasts bounce as she ran down the corridor was fired. He was just fired?
This says struck off. I don't know what struck off means, but
oh, I know what that means. That's what he was doing when he was watching. Aaron K acted inappropriately to 4 women.
Kibaja.
Yep, Aaron Kibaja acted inappropriately to 4 women between 2012 and 2016 because he sucks.
He was also the manager of a dementia ward, according to what this one says.
A whole dementia ward? That must be easy.
At Highbury Hospital in Nottingham.
You're just like, you already ate dinner. Go back to bed.
Yeah.
All day long.
This article just seems to have a lot of unnecessary extra information in it. Yours is just to the point. So let's keep going.
In 2012, again, super old, he pulled maybe he just is getting acute, like there's like law stuff happening now or something.
I don't know. Someone said that this was a recent article on the page that I used. They lied.
Liars. In 2012, well, like I said, this article could be recent in that like maybe something's transpiring of it now. Where back then it didn't.
This article says May 30th, 2018.
In 2012, he pulled an alarm when there was no emergency and simulated breast. What? He simulated breast bouncing?
So he was just like
with his hands as he panicked. There was no emergency, and he simulated breast bouncing with his hands as he panicked. As panicked colleague dashed down the hallway.
Okay,
he wanted her to see his breast bouncing.
So what he did was he was like he pulled the fire alarm, and then when everybody else was like, "Oh my God," he was like, "Yeah, bouncing boobies."
Whatever you said his last name was, 44. Kibaja, 44, a married father of 4, blocked doorway so the women would have to brush past him and groped at least 2 of them.
That's super creep.
Someone should hide his body in an escape room. He also gestured to his
lock
groin.
him in a gun safe and then make a map to him.
He also gestured to his groin and asked a colleague if she would do his lollipop. Kabaja, who was a manager on the dementia ward at Nottingham's, that's why, because it's in England. That's why it's so weird.
Yep.
Highbury Hospital told another staff member she was sexy and pretty. He asked,
"Can you be? Wait, you're sexy.
Sorry,
and also pretty."
She was sexy and pretty. Those were in quotes.
Okay, so he was like, "You're sexy, pretty."
You're
not like sexy,
pretty.
unpretty, but sexy, pretty. AKA,
like,
he was like, "You don't have a butter face," is what
like,
most likely what he said.
You sexy.
What's
Actually,
with the
you know
lollipop
what?
thing, though?
You're pretty.
What's with the lollipop thing, though?
He pointed to his groin.
And said, "Do my lollipop."
Do my lollipop. I think he's suggesting that it's a lollipop.
So suck it.
Yeah, probably. I don't think he
Or lick.
he asked, "Can I touch your bum?"
A lot of people also bite lollipops, though.
In a phone call, he told her he missed her and breathed deeply down the line. Oh man, this guy's a serial killer. Another woman was told she was going to get it wheelbarrow. Wait, what? Wait, get it wheelbarrow. Barrow. Is that how you? I thought that's how you say wheelbarrow.
Get it, wheelbarrow.
That's
No.
not the right word.
Isn't it barrel?
Barrow. I thought it was like barrel. Like
Yeah.
L's.
Isn't it wheelbarrow?
Apparently it's wheelbarrow.
While you keep reading, I'm going to look up the correct spelling of wheelbarrow.
He told her she had a fine rump and referred to her breast as twins.
It is barrow.
We're retarded.
No, because it says it here. It
My
says
whole life I thought it was barrel.
it says wheelbarrow versus wheelbarrow. What's the difference?
that I've never said wheelbarrow.
A wheelbarrow is a small handheld vehicle which usually one wheel designed to put on two handles, or by a sail to push the ancient wheelbarrow by wind.
What? I want a sail wheelbarrow.
This doesn't explain what a wheelbarrow is. It just... What? You keep reading your thing. I'm going to learn right now.
Since he left Highbury, Kabaja has been working as a clinical manager at the Furze Care Home in Potter's Bar, Hertfordshire. A nursery and midwifery council panel in London found that in most instances, his behavior was sexually motivated and ruled he should be fired. In most instances?
Wait, what?
Which of his instances of lick my lollipop,
Do my lollipop.
do my lollipop, or I like your rump and you got nice twins, or
And
let me
also-
wheelbarrow you?
And grabbing women as he blocked them to go by.
Which one of these is not sexual in nature?
The lollipop one. Maybe he had a lollipop in his pocket. They could make that
Just
claim.
sitting and sticking out, and he's
Yeah, like what if he
do
had
my
like,
lollipop?
and he was asking them to like grab it and put it in his mouth, and he would be like, he'd be like,
it was.
"Thank you,
I don't
help."
think this is one where we need to defend the bad guy.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Like sometimes there's
They
two sides to
said
every story.
some.
In this story, there's not two sides. There's an asshole, and then a
Yeah.
weird government that like doesn't want to outright say he's an asshole.
Yeah, I'm just saying. They said some. I'm trying to come up with which ones might be logic. The bouncing boob. Maybe he was legitimately worried that his boobies were bouncing. And he was like, "Oh no, my boobies are bouncing." He's like, "I gained too much weight."
I'm really like, I think he's a dick,
He is a dick.
but on a comedic level. If this was in a movie, at least that part, I would probably die. If you just see people running down a hallway and he's just like
Yeah, that would be funny.
in slow motion though, like licking his
Yeah.
lips, like.
Also, he would have had to have not been the one to pull the fire alarm. Like if there was just like an emergency.
If this was like a Mr. Bean movie,
Okay.
he would have definitely been the one who pulled the fire alarm.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And
Mr.
then just
Bean
turned
wasn't a creep,
around
though.
and no, Mr. Bean would have been warning the women. He would have been like,
But there would have been he would have done it that way.
stop.
He's like, just calmly walk.
And then the women run by like the children's ward and he's like, As the women are like bursting through their shirts.
Yeah. And then the kids would just be like against the window, just like looking. Yeah, that would have been a Mr. Bean one.
I don't think so. I think that's a little much, but still.
I don't think that's how it
I
happened.
was just trying to pick British stuff.
I know you are.
He's British, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't speak, so it's hard to know.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he is. That was your phone saying yes, Mr. Bean is British.
Mr. Bean, sponsor us.
What? Okay. Did you have more to like?
That was the end of the story.
No, but I mean,
they were just like, it's mostly okay, but mostly it's not. You should fire him.
It's all the way not okay.
And then he was like, you know what? I'm going to go work at a nursing home.
Wait, that's what he did afterwards?
Yeah, I told you. He got another job at a different
I wasn't paying attention. Wheelbarrow doesn't
Since
exist.
he left Highbury, Kabaja has been working as the clinical manager at the Firs Care Home in Pottersbarn, Hertfordshire.
So, do you think he still does it, but now he motions down here more?
No, he's probably still got nurses. He's the manager again. Someone
He's
then
the
was
manager
like,
again?
Whoa. I understand that you sexually harassed all your other employees. But
At
you
the
know
hospital.
What? Your resume, I think that you won't do it again.
Do you also think that maybe they were like, hey, you did keep everybody on their toes, and the response rate for an actual fire is higher now that you did that? Do you think they justified it that way?
Because now the women are like, who's at the gates?
But they had practice. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, now they know how to like do like swim moves and like spins and stuff to like juke around the creepy guy standing in the doorway.
Exactly. Because there's always going to be a creepy guy. There's a creepy guy everywhere.
They now know, like, when he says, do my lollipop, that they need to kick him in it because nobody wants a shattered lollipop.
It's very true. That's what it is. Maybe that was their sum of it. Maybe he was going, knee me in the crotch, because that's how you get rid of it.
There's no way to defend this man. Stop.
I'm not defending him. I'm trying to
giving
understand
him logical reasons.
how only some of those things were not sexual harassment.
There's probably like one employee
also,
who he didn't have a crush
on.
There's probably some employee that he didn't like want to see naked, and he was like, "You're doing a real good job, Karen." And she was like, "Oh, see the way you look at all their breasts."
And like he just didn't do it to her.
Yeah. And so like, she also filed a complaint,
groping women,
but not that.
And
one.
then like he was like,
yeah, and she filed a complaint because
he didn't grope her. Favoritism?
Yeah, favoritism. And she was like, she used that as her excuse, and they were like, well, I don't think it's bad of him to say you did a good job.
I don't know. I think England should just say, hey.
They should go back to doing the guillotine and just be like, to the town square.
That was France. But they should
have had it too. Everybody had one.
They should probably just go, hey, you're being a piece of shit.
Don't do that.
Everything that you did was bad, and you're not allowed to be a manager for people anymore because you don't know how to manage yourself.
You have to stay at least 1,000 feet from women.
What if he has a daughter? Oh, if he has a daughter, that makes him an even bigger piece of shit. Sure. I'll just go with that.
Yep. I mean, pedophiles aren't allowed near schools, so people who sexually harass women shouldn't be allowed near women.
What about women that sexually harass men? Should they not be allowed within 1,000 feet of men?
Yeah, but why are you turning this around? That's not what the story's about. Why are you going to be one of those guys?
I'm making sure that should children that bully other children not be allowed 1,000 feet of other children?
You're being one of those not all men things.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
You literally went from pedophiles to pedophiles aren't allowed within schools.
No one should be allowed near children or women. No one.
So men shouldn't be allowed near women, and there has to be a line somewhere. This guy should not be allowed to be a manager
near women. He has to be at least 100 yards from all women.
He should not be allowed to be a manager, period. Because he doesn't know how to be a manager.
At all times, he should be at least 100 feet from all women.
The reason why he was let go should be documented as multiple cases of sexual harassment to female employees.
Yes, and he should be chemically castrated.
What?
Yeah, his dick is the problem. Take it away. He might be a good person. Maybe he'd be a great manager if he didn't have a penis anymore. Cut it off.
Your brain is where these things come from. Your brain is what does it. I feel like if a pedophile didn't have a dick, he would still be attracted to
No, because it reduces the sexual desire.
Okay. He would still be attracted. He would just keep them then.
I'm like, you are my pet now.
Yeah. I feel like that's how it would switch.
Because the government already does that and it seems to work.
We're chemically castrating pedophiles?
Yeah.
That's a sexuality now they're trying to do.
Yeah. They're not people.
Okay, I'm just saying. So is this whole
anybody
pedophilia is a sexuality? Is this just a way for the government to more easily find people to chemically castrate them? Is that what this is for?
I hope so.
I mean,
on to the next one. You're being weird about this.
No, you're literally saying that this man should have his dick cut off
with chemicals.
Okay, sorry. His balls destroyed with chemicals.
Yeah, cut it off.
And I'm making a perfectly logical thing that he should suffer, consequences like normal, legal, workplace, future employment consequences. And you're saying that
he should be neutered.
He should be neutered.
It's good for him. It's for his own good. The benefits. Then he can focus solely on his job of being a good manager.
He shouldn't be allowed to be a manager. He has poor impulse control. That's just...
Yeah, but if he has no way to have impulses...
You can still have impulses and not for them to be sexual. He's just bad at being a manager.
You know what? Now we need to scientifically... We're going to do a vote if we should chemically castrate Jared for science to see if he loses his impulses.
One, I don't really have impulses to begin with.
I know.
I don't act on anything.
I know.
Getting out of bed is difficult enough for me.
It's going to be a really low turnout study.
Yeah. So it's pointless.
How do you feel today? I still don't care. Be like, all right.
Yeah. That would literally be all it is.
That was before we did this too. You said that.
All I'm saying is that, in a realistic standpoint.
We should make him put his hands in hot coals.
This man should not be allowed to be a manager. Should be documented as someone who did sexual harassment. It should be more difficult for him to get jobs because of that, because that's not a good thing. He should probably have to go to some sort of therapy where he learns that woman is important and equal and should be treated as such and is not an object.
Yeah, and in that therapy, he'll take some chemicals, and those chemicals will help him realize it when his wiener doesn't work.
Now I'm going on to the next one because apparently...
I won't change my mind.
You're never going to change your mind about anything.
You can't argue with anybody over the internet.
It is true. It is true. I'm going
Technically, this argument is on the internet.
I forgot that I'm on a thing that's wheelbarrow versus wheelbarrow.
Wheelbarrow versus
And if anybody was wondering...
You're wrong.
It's wheelbarrow.
Wheelbarrow.
Wheelbarrow. When I looked it up on wheelbarrow versus wheelbarrow, it literally said a wheelbarrow is a wheelbarrow, which is a small...
I think
it's
what
just
it is
American.
What it is this is the whole GIF versus GIF thing, where like the intended word is GIF, but everybody's like, no,
it's
called a GIF.
It's a GIF.
And it's like my wife with the word hammock. Everyone calls it a hammock, but she swears you have to read the extra O and goes hammock.
Hammock. Yeah.
And I'm like, we're not going to get ham hocks today. We're going to lay in your hammock.
I feel like it's more like a...
It's a cultural thing with language.
Yeah. I think it's more of just like an Americanized thing. I think probably people in England probably do say wheelbarrow, and people in America are just like wheelbarrow.
It sounds so hard to say wheelbarrow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like the same way aluminium.
Aluminium's easier to say than aluminum.
It is, and it also sounds dope. I feel like we should all be saying aluminium.
I always say aluminium now.
Yeah.
But not for years.
I think that's what it is. I think it's just Americans are just like, We just hear something and we go, yeah, wheelbarrow.
No, we
It's
just
like a
look at it
barrel
and we're
wheel.
like, we just look at words and we're like, I'm gonna decide how this is said now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna spread that to other people.
And then for generations, we're going to think it's wheelbarrow. We had wheelbarrow races. How was that? Like on field day.
Wheelbarrow races.
I know it was written out, and I could have swore it was written out as wheelbarrow.
100% probably was.
Like I don't remember ever seeing wheelbarrow.
Yo, is this
A Mandela effect thing?
Yeah.
Everybody in the comments, do you remember it as wheelbarrow? Like WHEELBARREL. Is there another L at the end of barrel? I don't remember.
Barrow.
Or wheelbarrow, WHEELBARRW or OW. I spelled barrow wrong because I've never spelled the word barrow.
I've never said the word wheelbarrow.
Yeah, good. Let us know. It because I am like 100% sure it's been wheelbarrow my entire life. But I also was one of the people that was like
articles like
Bernstein Bears.
wheelbarrow. Also, wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
It just immediately is like, no, that's
It's
not a
weird.
word.
Like okay. Let us know in the comments what you say. On to the last one.
Synesthesia.
Chainsaw wielding men covered in blood reportedly involved in beach fight.
Who won?
Let's find out. Police say a fight between a large group. There was a lot of chainsaw men.
There's only 2 left.
I get. Last
That's
man
a 2,
standing.
right?
Yeah, 2. Right? Yeah. No, it just said men. Chainsaw wielding men covered in blood reportedly involved in beach fight. Police say a fight between a large group of people near Toronto's Cherry Beach broke out yesterday with 2 people injured and 2 arrested. It was 2. But it said large group. Also, how bad do you have to be with a chainsaw that you only hurt 2 people?
Out of a large group.
Out of a
people.
large group, yeah. Members of the public called
I
Toronto
think
police.
they're heavy and they're probably not easy to swing around.
I feel like if you
just
get
run, you're like.
if you get momentum going and you're like have it going and you start swinging.
Honestly, I think the smartest way to do it is to just do it like you're cutting down a tree, just like the normal motions. But these guys were probably all, freaking Leatherface, and that's a stupid way to do it, and you probably end up hitting yourself. They're probably the injured parties.
Maybe. Or maybe they were just going.
If I was going to try and murder people with a chainsaw, I'd just hold it like this, and I'd just rock back and forth.
What if
just run at them
they
straight up?
They were a team, and the one guy was on one side with it this way, and the other guy was on the other side with it this way, and they were just running at the same speed. And they were just like, just going and trying to like get people on the sides of them like it was a chariot. Ben-Hur style.
What if it's not an electric chainsaw? What it is actually chainsaws.
Like the ones that you
Like
can
the
buy off of
pocket
Amazon.
chainsaw?
Yeah, and you just
And
cut
one
down
is
sticks.
holding one side of it, and the other is holding the other side, and they're just trying to like
Try to just walk
run through people, like
and just go
this.
back and forth. I wish we were syncing that up. So no, this way, that way, this way, that way. There we go.
Just running through a crowd of people.
That's really difficult. We just proved how difficult that actually is. Okay, let's continue.
Which is
to
why
say,
there was only injuries and no deaths.
I guess so, and why it was only 2 people.
Everybody else just got out the way.
Yeah. Let's see here. So Toronto, they called Toronto police to the corner of Unwin Avenue and Cherry Street on Sunday morning. I'm assuming that's Constable Carolyn Decloet. Said some people were engaged in a physical fight reported by CTV News. Social media users say that they witnessed the incident, described seeing men wielding chainsaws in the trail leading up to Cherry Beach. 2 guys
What
with
if the guys
chainsaws
with a
covered in
chainsaw-
blood charging people.
Oh.
I feel like they were working together. Now that I
I
think
was
about
just
it.
about to say, what if the people with the chainsaw were just hype men during the fight? They're just standing in the background like, yeah, yeah.
Fuck him.
While there's a big ass fight in the middle.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see here. In a statement to Newsweek, Toronto police spokesperson on Sunday, August 9th, 2020 at 9:49 a.m.
How are they covered in blood? How injured are these people?
I don't know. Maybe
It
they
did not say life-threatening
Yeah.
injuries. It just said 2 people went to the hospital with some injuries.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they weren't even the ones that injured somebody. Maybe they were cutting up pigs earlier, and then they were like, "What? They're having a fight over at Cherry Beach. Let's go.
And they were
bring the chainsaws.
They were just keeping the crowd together. They're like, no one leaves.
Yeah, they could have just been doing that.
And that's what the charging was. It was like,
yeah, could have been. That they didn't say that they cut anybody.
Standing around the circle, like making sure everybody stays in.
Stay in the circle.
This was the last man fighting or last man standing brawl.
Yeah, it was like when you put a circle of gasoline around a bunch of people and light it on fire and say fight it out, but it was guys with chainsaws. But enough people didn't show up, so they just had to keep running around. They had to herd them like Australian shepherds.
Chainsaw men. We only got 2 chainsaw men.
Got to do so much more work now. Where's Jim, Mike, Terry, Bob, and Philip?
You don't understand. It was hard work at the pig slaughterhouse chainsaw factory today.
Doesn't everybody use a chainsaw to slaughter pigs? Let's see here.
I don't think so. It'd be messy.
It is alleged that 2 men involved in the original altercation suffered injuries. So literally only the first 2 people fighting. Like 2 people started a fight and then a bunch of people fought, but they weren't really fighting that hard.
And then chainsaw showed up.
And chainsaw guys showed up. They were just like, this is great. They then left and returned their weapons. Oh, they returned with weapons.
So the 2 that were injured left and came back with chainsaws?
So, okay, it was a fist fight.
Chainsaw men are also injured?
They were covered in blood because they were beating each other up, so it's their own blood. And then they went and they both do you think they were like, it's a duel? What weapon do you choose? Chainsaws, 15 minutes back here?
Wait, like, so they were fighting each other with the chainsaws?
I think they were the original 2 that were involved in the fight. They were beating each other up with their fists.
So that's why they're covered
in blood. They
got
bloody.
Now.
And then they were like, hey, this isn't going the way we want. Weapons. And they were like, okay, I called weapons. You get to choose the weapon. And the other guy's like, chainsaws. And he goes, I got a chainsaw. I'll go get it.
You bring your people. I'll bring mine.
I'll bring my people. You bring your people. We'll meet back here in 15 minutes. They went home, grabbed chainsaws.
Called all their friends.
All their friends came. They were like, we're down to back you up, but we really don't want to fight that hard. So it turned out to a lot of like pushing because nobody else was injured. So it was literally just people throwing people around and just pushing, maybe a couple slaps, maybe a kick to the stomach, punch to the groin.
Those guys were just all verbal fighting. Like, your friend's a bitch. No, your friend's a bitch.
And then the guys with chainsaws were like, I'm going to kill you. But then in the back of their mind, they're like, I can't kill a human being. So they were just running at people, just going, ah.
No, it was for showmanship. Like at the beginning of like a wrestling match, they run around the ring. And like, the chainsaw men, like this was at the start of the fight.
Oh, okay.
They're already covered in blood because they just got like, beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Then they went
and they
home,
just ran to each other's sides. Like,
yeah. It was like Highlander. That was how they were hyping everybody up. Yeah, and then the police broke it up before the real chainsaw match could begin. Like they got them during the hype squad moment.
I feel like chainsaw fighting is something we're missing out on.
I don't think so. I feel like it'd be super dangerous because as soon as 2 chainsaws hit, I feel like the belts are going to break and they're going to go flying into the crowd.
Depends on who has the better chainsaw.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like NASCAR at that point. Whoever
someone shows up with diamond
street
blades.
Racing. It's whoever has the better car.
Whoever shows up with diamond blades
and knows how to use it well is gonna win.
Someone comes with a sawzall. Like, I mean, at this point, like saw fighting.
Yeah, you can have weight classes at that point. Yeah. You can have like
the handsaw. Like
you have a little handsaw, and then you got like
electric versus gasoline.
Yeah, you have divisions. Be like, I'm a G1 sawzall fighter. Be like, is that why you only have 3 fingers on your left hand? Be like, yep. Still enough to hold the handle on the other one.
This is something we're missing out on.
I would only watch it on TV.
If I would go to a live event.
I would never go to a live event.
There'd be a splatter zone.
If there was like a big plexi wall shield around this, then I would go. But even in hockey, pucks go over sometimes.
You don't want to be in the splatter zone?
If a circular saw blade popped off and flew over the thing.
You're worried about the malfunctions of the weapons.
Yeah, I would.
I thought you were worried about just getting covered in people juice.
No, that's it is what it is. That's just what happens when you go to a chainsaw fight. I'm talking
come
about.
On, there could be like an epic event, like a dude like comes down hard on the collarbone with a chainsaw and is like, bah, 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 bah,
it just gets caught.
It gets
just
caught,
kicking,
and then it breaks, and both of them die.
I mean, that would be an epic one. That would be one for the highlight reel, I guess.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, I'm more worried about just some guy who paid, $30 to get some nosebleed seats, gets way more than a nosebleed when a circular saw blade flies up over the plexiglass, and he's just like, fuck. And then just right between the eyes.
Yeah, but if you survive and you get it signed, that's going to be worth money.
That would be worth so much money.
Especially if that guy
It'd be like
dies.
if that woman that got hit by that NASCAR tire that one time, if she would have survived and got it signed, probably would be worth a lot of money.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's why I don't go to sporting
NASCAR
events. Yeah, I don't go to
or
NASCAR.
hockey. You go to hockey
I do go to
games,
hockey, but I sit close to the glass.
but they can go through.
The glass will break. It'll only hit the people in the first 3 rows. I sit in the fourth row.
I sit in the middle so that I have a good chance of not having to come over and also not coming through.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You're
The worst thing you got to worry about.
Drilled one day.
Yeah, the worst thing you got to worry about with that is like another fan of another team just trying to get into a fight with you at that point. That's really the worst.
And you're just like,
Plus, also COVID. I can't go to hockey games anyway anymore.
Chainsaw fights.
Chainsaw fights. Let's start them. But
Brought to you by Rum Runnas Funeral Parlors.
let's see here. Officers arrived on the scene and both men were arrested and charged accordingly. What were the charges? That's what I want to know.
Chainsaw fighting.
Is that a charge in Toronto? Is that where that was? Did I say yeah, Toronto. Let's see here. The investigation is ongoing, and anyone who was in the area at the time witnessed the escalation of events are asked to contact investigators at 416-808-5104. Number for you once again if you're in the Toronto area, because now we have listeners in Canada.
We have one listener in Canada. One listener in Canada. Were you there?
It would be so great if he was. If he's like, yo, I just started listening to your show. I fucking was there. I saw it. Thank you very much for the number.
How you described it is exactly what happened. And yes, I would pay to watch chainsaw fights.
Because I literally stopped everything I was doing. I pulled over my car and I watched this shit happen from afar.
If this was pay-per-view, I'd be there.
Yep. 416-808-5104 with information for the Toronto police.
Very least we got to make a movie about this.
Yeah. Oh, shit, there's more.
Like, that's the end of the article because normally they end with the phone number.
Yeah.
This is the sequel, Chainsaw Fights Part 2.
I was not expecting there to be more. There was just more.
There's like a whole border between them too.
Let's see here. Facebook user Ward Jardine posted that he went out for coffee yesterday morning to be warned by a cyclist and runner not to go on the trail after seeing 2 men covered in blood carrying running chainsaws. Wait.
It's a running chainsaw.
I was going to say, wait, so like the chainsaw was running?
This is just my running chainsaw, for like when you're running and there's like a lot of high brush, but you don't want to bring your machete because that's a little too much work. So
yeah. So you bring
they're extra
running,
long.
And it has the Nike swoosh on it. It says like, just cut it.
What is a running chainsaw?
I'm assuming they mean that they were on.
I'm assuming that what
I like to think it was like a jogging chain. It's like a slightly faster jogging chainsaw. You have a power walking walking chainsaw, power walking chainsaw, jogging chainsaw, running chainsaw, and then your sprint chainsaw, which is very, very dangerous. You pass that around like a baton. That would make the baton races even more exciting also.
Why loggers run upside down? Chainsaw bars.
What?
Running in a chainsaw chain.
Wait, they run upside down?
Dude, that's just what that says.
What was that noise? Did you hear that? Okay, it wasn't that. Let's see here. One Redditor user said was biking by Cherry Beach at around 10 a.m. this morning.
Whoa, wait a minute. This jogger was warned by a biker.
Okay.
Is this biker the biker that warned the jogger?
Oh my God. You mean the coffee guy?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so this coffee guy was warned by a bicyclist and a runner. And then this guy on a bicycle was warned by a woman that came running out of the woods screaming about people with chainsaws.
These are the same 3 people.
Oh my God. I hope that's what it is.
They all wrote separate articles
running
and somehow
yeah.
This Newsweek found it.
Yeah, so the woman running for her life was the runner. And then the guy bicycling that was told by the woman running for her life rode same direction as the woman. And then the guy coming out for coffee was like, oh shit. And then both of them were like, men with chainsaws, don't go to the beach.
chainsaw fighting. Don't go there.
So he was like, I mean, I'm going to get close.
I'm going to drink my coffee. I'm going to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Was confused but kept going to find dozens of police cars flying up Cherry Street towards the water. Oh my God, it keeps going. I was there.
People
and I believe,
were heading there, obviously.
Yeah, I believe I was the first to call 911. I was running along the trail. Oh, maybe this was the runner. And saw two guys pick up chainsaws. They had chainsaws with them.
You said this was a cyclist.
No, this is a new person. This is another Redditor.
It is. There's 3 separate ones.
Yeah. I was running along the trail and saw two guys pick up chainsaws. They started lunging at cyclists. What? I jumped into the woods and took some photos. I called 911 after they were
not
both
fighting
bleeding.
each other?
Seems like they had attacked one another, ? And were in rough shape themselves. Then they started lunging at people as they went eastbound.
So they were like, draw. Let's get somebody, though.
I don't know. I don't know what happened in this article. Because it went from like a large group of people fighting. And then it went to
on a beach.
Yeah.
Now it's in the woods.
Yeah. And then 2 guys were fighting each other, is what they said. So that explained their blood. And then it was like 2 guys with chainsaws lunging at, or like charging people. And then it went to like only 2 people were hurt. Probably not even with chainsaws because it was the 2 guys that were in the fight. And then it was
so
there's
the
2 guys
charged,
fighting.
Also the 2 guys hurt.
Yeah, and then there was 2 guys fighting with chainsaws. And then there wasn't a large fight. It's just these 2 guys, and now they're lunging at people. So they were like, let's put our differences aside and fuck bicycles.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. They're like, all right, you punch real hard.
Yeah.
You punch real hard, too. I hate bicyclists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a very confusing start for the WCFL, the World Chainsaw Fighting League.
They really missed out. Also, I think it's funny that dozens of cars were driving to the beach to see this.
Which is, no, dozens of cop cars were driving to stop this, I'm assuming. But why would they need dozens if it was just 2 people? But if it was a large group of people, what about all those other people?
You need dozens of cops because they got chainsaws.
It's just,
we send like 57 people because the dude has a baggie of cocaine on him.
True.
So how many cops do you think they're going to send if there's 2 men fighting with chainsaws trying to kill bicyclists?
How many mounted police do you think they sent?
None, because they don't actually ride horses. It's just what they're called.
Don't tell me that.
They drive cars.
Don't tell me that.
Police cars.
Dudley Do-Right all the way.
How quickly do you think they can get to a crime scene if they're like, all right, 17 miles away, we need you guys there?
If they were stationed on the beach,
because Mounties aren't like town cops, they're like
cops?
State troopers pretty much or something. No, they're detectives or whatever. So they're like,
according to Super Troopers 2, they were like state police.
Yeah, whatever. In that case, that means they're driving across county, and you're just like, man,
they gotta
I hope they
chase
get
down
here while
speeders.
it's still fresh, and it's just like
they gotta chase down speeders on a horse. You go driving at. Do they use kilometers per hour or miles per hour in Canada?
Why not both?
90 kilometers per hour, 70 something miles per hour. Then they're driving that fast.
No.
68 miles per hour. They're driving that in a 57 kilometer per hour zone. I'm assuming they have weird numbers like that. So to do that, they can catch them on a horse. There's a fast horse. And they get ahead of them. That's another episode of the Rum Runnas Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram right here at Rum Runnas. You can follow us on Twitter right there at RumPod. Follow Kyle on Instagram right there at Mr. Norwal. You can, if you're listening to this, you can watch us also on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Rum Runners Entertainment. We got tons of stuff there. If you're watching this, you can listen to us also. We're found everywhere where podcasts are found. That includes places like...
podcast places.
Cool. Peace. Deuces. Catch you in the next one.
All the links are in the bottom. So is my lollipop. I can't wait to put Jared in a wheelbarrow.
I'm done.
I'm a wheelbarrow you, Jared. Jared, get back here. Jared.